Howdy, Ags, and welcome back to On Air with Student Affairs, the podcast that showcases all the ways you can create your Aggie experience here at Texas A&M. I'm your host, Morgan Miles, and I am the loudest and the proudest member of the Fighting Texas Aggie class of 2026, AAA. Woo! And today, I am talking with Emma, Nick, and Brooke of Outdoor Adventures, and we're going to talk a little bit about the trips and things that you can do through their program. So how are y'all today?
Doing fantastic.
Pretty
How are you?
Good. So I'm really excited to talk about all this because this is really cool. And, I'm not too familiar with outdoor adventures, so I'm really excited to hear about it. So can you tell us a little bit about, what it is and your involvement in it?
Yeah. I can start. So Outdoor Adventures is a pretty cool program we have at the rec. A lot of people don't know about it, but what we do is we have trips that people can go on. We rent out gear for trips that people want to go on. And then we also have a massive rock climbing facility that people can experience at the rec. What I do is I'm the head route setter at Outdoor Adventures. So I'm in charge of the team that puts up all the routes on the wall, which is a pretty fun job. And I think Outdoor Adventures is pretty cool because it helps people have experiences that might have a slight barrier of entry. So if they've never been on a trip and they want to experience that, they can go ahead and do that through us. And, we help organize that and provide gear for that.
Awesome.
Getting out of College Station is a good thing that I have noticed that I like to do whenever I spend so much time in College Station, on campus. So anytime that I can get out, I love to do that. And through Outdoor Adventures, I've been able to get outside, spend time camping or canoeing and climbing outdoors, and that's my favorite part of Texas A&M.
I love that.
Well, just we run all our trips outdoors and do rock climbing trips, paddling trips, canoeing trips like they were saying already, and we do venture camp, which is super cool. I know I ran a few venture camps, and I was actually on one myself, coming into A&M. And venture camp is only for incoming freshman Aggies, and it creates a really good, strong community. So you know what you're getting into coming into A&M. You have a small family that you can, have a community with and start your college career with, and it's my favorite part of it.
I love that. So what experiences and programs do you guys offer through Outdoor Adventures?
So just like Nick said, Outdoor Adventures is sort of broken up into 3 areas. So one, the biggest thing, anyone who uses the Student Rec Center at the west side of campus will see this, but we run, staff, and coordinate our rock climbing wall. So anytime anyone wants to get physical, get a workout in, or just try something new, make it to the top of the wall, that's what Outdoor Adventures does. The other part of the program is our Outdoor Adventures Rental Center. So we have a whole bunch, a plethora of gear that we will rent to students and non-students for a fee. But there are sleeping bags, tents, canoes, kayaks, yard games if you are hosting a tailgate or something with your student organization. And then the last part of the program is our outdoor trips. So that's what Brooke was talking about a bit. It overlaps with Venture Camp, which I'm sure we'll talk about in a bit. But we take people on a guided trip. Maybe we go backpacking or canoeing or outdoor climbing. We provide all of the gear, all of the food, and all of the instruction that you would need.
That's awesome. Can you tell us a little bit about the renting part of the renting gear? What is available for students to rent, and how would they do that?
Okay, so great question. My role with Outdoor Adventures is I am our student supervisor over the gear, the rental center. So I manage everything that happens and organize and train our staff to manage the rental center. So a bit about what that gear looks like. We're located at nearby the annex entrance of the Student Rec Center, so that's the main one on the west side of campus. We're a little bit hard to find if you use the main entrance of the Student Rec Center, but we have a big garage with big letters that say Outdoor Adventures. So if you just make it to the right entrance, then you'll for sure find us. We have a big garage filled with gear. I guess a gear garage. And it's full with a bunch of outdoor gear that people can check out on adventures that they create themselves. So I mentioned before canoes and kayaks. We have fishing kayaks. If you want to take a break for the weekend and go fishing, we have supplies for that. Like your standard camping trip, stoves, pots, tents, anything that you might need for that, or even just tailgating for a football game. We'll have stuff for that as well. So that's all in our rental center. It does cost a fee to rent equipment from our center, but that's all listed, like prices and all of our equipment are listed on the Rec Sports website under Outdoor Adventures.
Awesome. So I do have a question. I'm just curious, do y'all have something that's like particularly your favorite, like a specific trip or something?
Like gear to rent out or specific trip?
Like a trip.
Okay. Gotta think about that one.
If you've been on one through Outdoor Adventures, which I'm sure y'all probably have, but.
Oh, yeah.
This isn't a specific trip I went on with Outdoor Adventures, but this is something I used all of our gear on. So me and my friends went to Hawaii a couple of summers ago and wanted to backpack one of the volcanoes there. And I love backpacking, I love doing all that, but I never had any of the gear for it, and I've never done it myself, so I didn't know like how to prepare for it. I didn't know what I needed. So that's a really cool part of what we do. Is I just talked to a lot of people that worked with me at Outdoor Adventures, and they had so many different like strategies for backpacking. They knew exactly what I needed. And then all the gear I needed was there. So it was pretty cool to, I wouldn't have had that opportunity without Outdoor Adventures.
Yeah, like I said about Venture Camp, I'll just go wrap that up. But basically, Venture Camp is recently we just went to Arkansas. Mm-hmm. We went to Jasper, and we rock climbed at Horseshoe Canyon Ranch, and then we paddled the Buffalo River. And it's super cool. You get all the gear, you get all the boats, it comes with your fee. And I also did the New Mexico trip about a year ago, and we basically backpacked for like 9 to 10 to 11 days. So basically you pack your backpack and then you take that and that's all you have for like the whole trip. And there was, we saw mountain lions, crawling up vertically, 50 feet up. It was crazy. We got caught in a sandstorm, a fire hazard.
Oh my gosh.
But it's like all something like really cool to talk about as a story later on and be like, yo, I went on this trip, all that stuff happened, but we like trauma bonded, and all the material and was there, and all the trip staff, they're so cool. They're all like very like individual personalities. And by being on that freshman Venture Camp trip, I kind of was like, this is where I want to be, this is where I want to stay throughout my whole, college career, to work for these people and, have a big family to, be a part of my college career.
I love that. I have another question, and I wanted to ask, like, did y'all have any experience, like, outside of Outdoor Adventures? Like, did you grow up fishing, hunting, anything like that made you want to join, or was it just something that was, like, totally new to you?
Okay, I'll go first. I came into Texas A&M with a lot of outdoor experience, and joining Outdoor Adventures staff and participating in our like outdoor trips and leading our outdoor trips. That was sort of the outlet that I found to continue my time outdoors. So I was involved as a teenager in Scouts. I loved going camping with my family. Backpacking too. The summer before I joined OA, I was even a canoe guide in Louisiana for a summer. So that was a ton of fun, and it brought me outdoor experience that helps with my role and my jobs with Outdoor Adventures. But finding a community within our staff and our participants and other college students who just want to get outdoors, that's been like more valuable to me than the outdoor experience that I had coming into Texas A&M.
That's really cool.
So unlike Emma, I was not that prepared outdoors. I'll talk about it a little more on the rock climbing side. So I used to rock climb. I'm from El Paso originally. So there's a ton of outdoor stuff. And then I figured out I was going to A&M and I was like, there's going to be nothing there to rock climb at all. And I show up and there's this super awesome wall in the rec. And I'm like, okay, like this is exactly what I wanted. Got into that and then unknowingly realized that I was going to get into all the trips and all that through all the other programs that we offer.
Yeah, I guess I was just like opposite of you because I like was more of like the paddling person. I always like paddled on lakes, like whether it's, paddle boarding, canoeing, kayaking, and I honestly like hated rock climbing. Like I thought I was like, bro, who are these weirdos just like climbing a rock, like go get a life and stuff. But then I came here and I got the job and everything, and I was like here for the trips, like because I wanted to run these trips. Like I've seen what it does to people, and I'm like, I'm here for the trips. But then I was like, kind of like, I was like, nah, I don't want to work the wall, Well, like fast forward, like now I have like 2 doubles on Friday and Saturday. I love it.
Working
now, like I actually prioritize like the ICF, which is an indoor climbing facility, like over some of the other things that we offer because I actually like love the community. And as for like getting into outdoor adventures, pre-outdoor adventures, I basically started off doing all those things with my family, and being outside is like such like a relief rather than being with like, I don't know, doing other things with like maybe high schoolers or something. I feel like being outside away from all of that is like my happy place where I can kind of just like chill out and be like myself, and hence the tattoo. Because that was my high school graduation present was like either like go on a cruise with a bunch of like, crazy people, or like get an outdoor tattoo and then just like go to Utah and like for a backpack for like 8 days straight. And I was like, immediately, that's the one I want to do. So yeah, we all have different backgrounds, but kind of perfectly fits together. So
y'all are all really cool. I'll say that. Y'all are way cooler than me. I know nothing about going outside or doing anything like that. And so coming from that perspective, like what would you say to someone like that's like, oh, like I've never done anything like that before, but like I'm interested. So like who are the outdoor adventures open to? Is it open to everybody or people with experience?
Okay, so I'm going to take a stab at this question first. And if you two want to answer after, you can. So to answer that question, lots of things can feel intimidating if you're doing it for the first time. But at Outdoor Adventures, we are open to everybody, regardless of like how physically fit you are, whether you're like a super buff gym bro or just somebody who's walking across campus and wants to try something new. So we're open to everybody. When I first started working with Outdoor Adventures, I had no climbing experience. So the first time I climbed to the top of the climbing wall was when I was a new employee, and I was super nervous. I was like halfway up and I couldn't tell if I was shaking because I was nervous of heights or because like I was worn out, like my forearms, they were starting to hurt. So I personally have experience with feeling like out of place in an area of campus where maybe it seems like everyone around you is super strong and like super athletic. So personally, I had that experience. So my goal and the whole of Outdoor Adventures goal is to try to break down that stereotype maybe, or just like expectation that you have to look or act or like think a certain way to participate in outdoor activities or like climb on the climbing wall. Yeah, that's all I have to answer with that question. I don't know if either of you two have
That was a really great answer.
I was going to say, I think Emma explained it perfectly. I want to talk about it a little bit more on the flip side of working for Outdoor Adventures too, because we want to bring everyone to enjoy all of our experiences, but I think anyone can work at Outdoor Adventures, just like Emma said. I mean, she had no rock climbing experience. Now she like knows everything about it, and vice versa for a lot of people that just came for the rock climbing and then now learned everything about the trips and our rental gear. It's really a cool place to work. We give people so many opportunities for like leadership positions and learning so many different skills that they've never even thought about learning before. So I wanted to emphasize that a little bit, how cool it is to have an experience, an opportunity like that on campus where like I didn't even know it was possible.
I know. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to highlight like our adaptive climbing clinics that we have, which is like literally anyone with any type of like, disability that they feel that it will impact their climbing experience or their outdoor trip experience, that can be accommodated for in any way. We are currently getting trained, so there will be a day that anyone could come and we'll know exactly how to, help you and help make sure that your experience is like up to par. And basically, with the physical side, I do believe, like, even if you're a gym bro, like, sometimes I look at myself as I'm a gym bro sometimes, and then I'm like, bro, I can, curl this much, but I can't make it out the top of a wall. Like, I know some people that are so mid, like, body. Okay, that might sound bad, but, like, they can, like, climb like crazy. So it really doesn't matter, like, what kind of type your body is, because if you need accommodations, we have them. If you're not a gym bro, you don't have to be, because gym bros, like, sometimes they're the ones that can't climb, and and that's totally, like, it's okay, because that's, like, we're still working on that. But even if you're, like, on the flip side of that, then most of the people that I know that can climb are, like, we have like these crazy 80-year-olds, the 80-year-old couples that come in.
Stop.
And
Yeah.
they
That
are
is
they
so
are
cute.
serious
Oh, yeah.
climbers.
And they're like some of the best sometimes.
Yeah, some of the best of the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I definitely, like I said before to you personally, but I used to do, or I still am doing, like, a coordination in like St. Joseph Hospital, and I deal with a lot of, like, geriatric patients, which are, like, elderly patients, and these people have never been fit ever, and never have, like, taken care of their bodies or whatever. So I see that on, like, in the daytime, and I see these these patients, they can't move, you have to do everything for
Right.
them. And then I go to work at night, and then these 80-year-old couples are, like, climbing these walls that I can't even climb, and it's just, like, it's such a goal to be that, like, one day.
Right.
And yeah, I look up to it. So
I love that. That's actually so sweet.
Yeah.
I love that.
I would say we're like extremely inclusive.
Oh,
which
for
I
sure.
love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how has that impacted y'all? I know having the adaptive climbing experience has probably been impactful in some way to be able to, like, accommodate to everybody and, like, provide that inclusivity to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So how's that impacted you personally, you think?
I would say it's pretty awesome. I mean, it's fun getting to, like, have anyone show up at the wall, like Brooke was saying, and, like, having them be able to climb is super cool. I think, like, we didn't have that before. This is like something that we're currently working on, improving as we go, because everyone has a different situation.
Right.
But every time, like, we have another adaptive climbing clinic, we see more and more people show up, which means, like, it is making a difference, and it's pretty cool to see that.
I love that. That's actually so awesome. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to ask this question because I was stalking y'all's website and I know there's a trip coming up. So what trips do y'all have coming up?
Okay, can I
Yeah.
say
This is all
something?
you.
All right, so I'm not exactly sure when this episode will air, but if it airs before fall break, we are going to be canoeing over fall break. It's multiple days long along the Colorado River nearby Bastrop, Texas, the Bastrop area. So everything is provided, all of the food, all of the gear that you would need. And we go on canoes with all of our gear in the canoes with us. And then we paddle down the river a couple of miles, like a handful of miles a day. And then later afternoon, we're going to just stop along the river, find an island or like a bank along the Colorado River, and then just set up camp. So we are cooking together, we're hanging out together, maybe playing some music, just chilling together in camp. And then we pack up everything in the morning and do it for a couple more days. So that's happening during fall break. I'll be one of our leaders there. So if you like the sound of my voice and want to join, feel free to. There's more information about that. Like you said, on that Rec Sports website, there's like multi-day trips. day-long trips. I don't know if you guys want to add
Weekend
anything.
trips. Yeah, we're working
Yeah.
the Paternales trip.
Yeah.
So that should be fun, hiking and backpacking and stuff like that.
I think we have like a state park exploration trip. I'm not. Do you remember
Inks
where
Lake?
that one's at? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's coming up. Yeah.
Yeah,
that
there's
one's coming
one.
up
There's
too.
one at Inks Lake, so it's a mix of hiking and paddling and camping there too. So just maybe that's more of a base camp type of setting where you're in just like a front country campsite. It's relatively easier compared to the Colorado River, at least technical skill wise. But yeah, the Explore series, exploring the state parks around us in Texas, that's a pretty cool thing. So there's information about that. We update our trip schedule at the beginning of each semester. So these are ongoing. Every semester there's going to be new outdoor trips that we lead, whether it's at a state park or along a river or something.
Rock climbing trip.
Rock climbing, yeah. Everything is on our website.
Yeah, and these trips are like, once you go on them, you basically can try and have a good idea on how to run your own trip.
Right.
And the materials are given. You know, if you have questions on how to run a trip, we are here to help you. And along, like with your trip leaders that are on those trips that you just talked about, basically you're on the trip and you can prep if you want to run your own trip. And that's what our goal is trying to get people outside, trying to get them to explore and have a better experience.
That's awesome. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure y'all are doing a trip during the A&M UT game.
Oh yeah, I was not happy about that.
And I was looking into it and I'm like, that's actually kind of cool because it said you get to stop somewhere and still watch the game.
Yeah, so
That is so cool.
Yeah.
So can you tell me a little bit more about that? Because I think there's probably some students that would be really interested in that.
Yes, absolutely. So you're referring to our
Thanksgiving break.
Outdoor Thanksgiving break trip to West Texas, near the Big Bend region. So we'll be in Big Bend. I can't believe I'm afraid I can't remember if it's Big Bend National Park or Big Bend Ranch State Park. Is it the state park?
I want to say it's the national.
Okay, the national park. Yeah. Okay. So we'll be hiking for a couple of days. It's over Thanksgiving break, but just like you said, on the way back, we are gonna stop, hang out at like one of those small towns in West Texas. Maybe get some like barbecue or something. We're in West Texas, so we have to. And chill out, watch the UT game from a ways away, so
That's
nowhere
so
near
cool.
College Station, but spending Thanksgiving break over in West Texas, hiking and exploring Big Bend. That's going to be what that week is all about.
That's awesome. So I have one last question that I would love if each of you could answer. So how has your time with Outdoor Adventures, how has that impacted your student experience here at A&M?
Need to think about that one for a sec.
I think it's pretty clear for me. I'm only a sophomore, so I haven't had that much A&M lifespan. But I did start at the Venture Camp in New Mexico, and I made some really good friends there in New Mexico, which are all, ags right now. And I saw my first shooting star, and I cried in New Mexico.
Stop.
That is so
Under
cool.
the
That's
light.
so sweet.
There's zero light pollution where we were, and it was amazing. But then after becoming, really close with my peers and with the trip staff, I decided to apply. Then I applied, got the job. They wanted me as a mentor for the venture camp for Arkansas this previous summer, which I helped lead. And I'm also doing the ICF, which has impacted me because I'm kind of like introvert, sort of, kind of a little bit, but sometimes I can be extrovert if I like the people I'm around. So I didn't think I would like the ICF, like I said before, but now I have made so many friends, so many, vast amount of people, a bunch of girls and, nursing school, which I'm applying to, they helped me out after meeting them in the ICF, a bunch of random old people that I didn't think I would jam with, but they're actually super sick. Very cool, nice people, and that's impacted me because now I love my job. I used to work at another part of the rec, and I didn't quite fit in. I didn't quite like feel like the vibes there. And then I moved to Outdoor Adventures, and I feel like, oh my God, like I can breathe now. Now I kind of have a good set place for like a while. So I think, yeah, it's definitely impacted my happiness, and it's I have a good place to study and a good group of friends that I can hang out with and not feel like weird, because like I'm going to my ICF shift today, and then we're going literally to Texas Roadhouse to like eat, bro, just to like eat all of those rolls and stuff. So that's literally like what we're planning to do. So it's awesome.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah. I'm a senior now, but I got hired as a freshman, and it was the first job I ever had. So it was really cool to like, that was like the coolest job I think you can get in college. Then I immediately got in, and I mean, it is a job, but it immediately felt like an organization too. Everyone that was in there had similar interests to me. Like I said, there's a lot of people doing trip stuff that I've never done before. So it helped me learn a ton about that. Since I've gotten hired, I've been on like 5 random like camping / hiking trips that are like some of my favorite memories ever. So I think it's a cool opportunity for people to experience that. And then my favorite part of it all has been the climbing community at the rec, which has grown an insane amount over the past couple of years. It's really an area where people can, join together, share experiences. And like we mentioned earlier, it's super inclusive. So I've gotten to meet people from so many different parts of campus that I've really connected with, and now I'm pretty good friends with. So it's been an awesome experience, and it's I think the coolest thing I could have done in college.
Oh, for sure.
That's so sentimental. I love that.
That's awesome, Nick.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you're our longest standing Outdoor Adventures staff member who's still currently working.
So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, all 4 years of college.
You're
That's pretty awesome.
Old.
Yeah, even before me.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll finish us off with that question, and then if there's anything else you want to talk about, then we totally can. I've been involved with staff working with Outdoor Adventures for 2.5 years now. I'm a super senior. This is my last semester, so I'll be graduating in just a couple of months. But I can say that this has been the most influential part of my college career, has been working with Outdoor Adventures. I've learned a ton, obviously related to outdoor stuff, but also professional skills. So managing and training new staff members, figuring out like what professional communication looks like to me, and preparing myself for like a full-time job. This has been on my mind a lot because I'm in the process of applying for jobs, but I would love to do something in collegiate outdoor recreation. So exactly what the 3 of us have been doing, but on a like full-time professional level. So I've learned a ton with working with Outdoor Adventures. And I know anyone listening, if this is at all anything that interests them, they move forward with applying and getting accepted, this will be a really influential part of their college experience as well.
I love that.
Can I add on to that real quick?
Yeah, of course.
I don't know, like Emma seems like she's led teams before, so maybe you're already like good at that. But when I first got hired, like I said, I never worked anything, and now I'm in charge of a team. So I really want to emphasize the cool opportunities we have to like really like develop professionally and leadership wise. Like, I mean, I've just like kept trying to work a little harder, and it didn't take much, and got more opportunities. And we see that with like so many different areas around staff. Like Emma's in charge of our whole rental center now, which is pretty cool. Like as a student, so yeah, it's pretty cool.
I love that. Well, thank y'all so much for chatting with us
Thank
today.
you.
This was a really cool episode.
It is so awesome to have, like, we're recording a podcast. That's crazy. That is so
Thank
awesome.
you for having us.
Of course. I mean, it's a really cool, unique way for students to get involved. And so I'm so glad y'all could join us.
Yeah.
Of course. So for more information on how to get involved through the Division of Student Affairs, go to tex.ag/create your Aggie experience. Thanks, and Giga.
Get going.
There you go.